This is Congressman Sam B. Hall, Jr. reporting to you from Washington. Last week on this broadcast, I spoke of the problems associated with technology transfer. That is, the selling of important American technology. The real problem is the use of such technology by the Soviet Union. Much of the scientific and technological goods that flow to communist Russia are part of legitimate sales under the Export Administration Act. I want to change that act and make it more difficult for the Russians to buy American technology. But another facet of technology transfer that is more sinister and more dangerous to our national security is the loss of our technological efforts through Soviet spying. Figures vary, but it is conservatively estimated that some 70% of the technology gained from the United States and its allies by the Soviets comes from spying. In other words, it goes to the Soviet Union by illegal means. Make no mistake about it. The Soviet spy network in our country is unbelievably large, sophisticated, and successful. What the Soviets are unable to pick up through international trade, they simply steal like a thief in the night. Sometimes they get caught. But the Soviets don't care about any potential embarrassment as far as the community of nations is concerned. And under a communist system, the ends justify the means. Thus, the Russians didn't bat an eyelash when they shot down a civilian jet with 269 innocent people aboard. Hardly a week passes by that some Western nation isn't throwing out Russian spies. The French recently had to throw out 47. In Thailand recently, 33 Russian spies were booted out of that country. Now, according to the U.S. government report released last year, the Russians have several thousand high-level, technology-sensitive spies at work throughout the free world. Obviously, the focus of their attention is the United States. Often they use stooges who are native citizens to do their spying. That's how they obtained a nuclear secret from the United States over 30 years ago. But they now rely mostly on the freedom of movement available in our nation. In other words, the Russian government has plenty of its own citizens running around the country on spy missions, and I, for one, am completely fed up with it. I want restrictions placed on these people, and I want all of their non-essential embassy people kicked out. You know, the record speaks for itself. Take the Soviet mission to the United Nations, for example. The Russians, in addition to their regular diplomats and trade officials, have 520 nationals working at the United Nations. The FBI estimates that about 40% of these work for Soviet intelligence. In other words, they are Russian spies. In every instance, the Soviets use their consular offices throughout the United States for spying, and that spying is helping them build up the most powerful military armada in the history of mankind. According to one source, they have over 40 so-called consular employees in San Francisco who spy on the Silicon Valley, which, as we all know, is the heart of America's high-technology industry. I believe Congress should and indeed must do something about this deplorable situation. Already the Senate has voted for a resolution to reduce the number of Soviet officials in the United States by at least 100. I want more than this, but for the time being, it's certainly a step in the right direction. This is Congressman Sam B. Hall, Jr. reporting to you from Washington. Thank you for listening.